In today's news, Leslee Smith signed to the British Basketball League's Plymouth Raiders.
NBA stars paid their final respect to former commissioner.
Premier private bodyguards replaced by Royal Virgin Islands Police Force.
We also have the BVI Port Authority enhancing their berthing booking system.
And U.S. President Candidate drops out of 2020 presidential race.
And also, Bobbi Kristina's ex-partner, Mr. Nick Gordon, died tragically from drug overdose on New Year's Day. Viewers, these and more when 284 News returns.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages. Welcome everyone. It is Thursday, January 2nd, 2020. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
We just rang in the new year. Of course, it was a blessing to do that in church.
Yes.
Then we headed over to King Garden Bay, spectacular fireworks put on by the King Garden Bay community, including the church. But I know, Kyla, over the last 2 days, I should say, there was quite a number of celebrations. There was the traditional Foxy's New Year's party.
Yes, everybody looks forward to that.
Absolutely.
Then Trellis Bay, I heard that Trellis Bay had quite a crowd.
Yeah, I think across the BVI, Virgin Gorda, all the other islands had their various events respectively, and I think everyone had some fun the old BVI way. So viewers, without further ado, let's just go to a few clips to show you just in case you missed it. If it's one thing you can count on Foxy's for, it's a good OAS party.
A fun time. But the great thing is everyone in their own respect got to rank in the new year however they could. Yeah, over at King Garden Bay. It was a really good time. We were there. We actually rang in the new year together.
Yes.
Yes.
So it was awesome. And in speaking with Justine today, which is Foxy's daughter, she said to date this was the biggest event for Foxy's, and that is so refreshing, especially amidst the controversy that they've had within the last year with family. I know right after they rang in the new year, the son, I think his name is Dean, he mentioned, even though we've had our issues as family, we still love and miss our dad, because based on what we've heard as well, he was not able to be there at the event. So we just want to continue to wish everyone continued success, love, blessings, abundance, and everything else
Happy New Year
for 2020. But we have to head into today's newscast. Topping our newscast, the private bodyguards that were contracted to protect the premier to the tune of millions have been replaced by newly trained officers from the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. Now, earlier this year, Premier Foy announced that he recruited private bodyguards for protection due to 3 credible threats of assassination, of course, received since taking up office. He also revealed that the fees were accounted for in the government's first budget. And as you can recall, Kyla, this really sparked major controversy and heavy criticism from the public. Now, in speaking directly with the premier today, our news house learned that this was always going to be the course of action for his security. He said, quote, "The police were always going to provide security to the office of the premier. However, the top cop stated from the inception that his officers needed training in this specialized area. It was agreed that a group of his officers would be selected and sent away to be trained." And as we can recall, Kyla, that indeed happened. He said further that it was agreed that until the officers were trained, then a private security company with such specialized capabilities would be contracted. That was done with the blessings of the top cop. Now, as soon as the cop confirmed the selected officers were now trained abroad, the contract of the competent private security was closed. All stages were also always known from the inception. And this is a key part, Kyla. He's saying that all stages were always known from the inception by all stakeholders. The trained officers of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force are now in place and performing admirably. Now, the premier also revealed that from inception, this was a temporary decision. And that is pretty shocking to me personally, and I'm sure it comes as a surprise to the rest of the territory, because we've heard damning allegations, one about the cost of the contracts that would span over a few years, as well as the time of the contract. The premier is saying from inception it was only supposed to be 6 months. So yeah, he's saying all of that was, quote, a baseless rumor. We also reached out to the police commissioner, Michael Matthews, who indeed confirmed the same. He said, quote, "I can confirm that the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force are solely responsible for security arrangements in respect of the Premier and the Governor. We also have developed a VIP protection capability by training certain officers in close protection tactics. These can be drawn on as and when the need arises." Now, Kyla, again, this really comes as, I would think, music to our ears for a number of reasons. Number one, I know persons were really duly concerned about these threats. When we reflect on our political history, especially locally, we've never really heard of our politicians' lives being threatened. And even though the premier never came forward and said specifically from whom or where they came from, and he's always said he knows, I think it's not anything to be taken lightly, and it really shook the territory. And then, of course, I know now it really brings relief to taxpayers, because I remember Honorable Mark Vanterpool referencing to the fact that this would cost the territory $5 million over a period of 4 years, based on what the premier is saying here today. All that was just rumors. The premier said that that was the plan from inception, to use private security until these officers were trained. So, and again, whether you're in the government or the opposition, for me, it really doesn't matter. Threat is a threat, and it shouldn't be taken too lightly, So I'm really happy to at least bring the public up to speed on this
Right.
one.
I think, as you said, I think some people were duly concerned, and you have to take these things seriously, but also I think the taxpayers, if we're being completely honest, feels a bit of relief. $5 million is a lot of money, first of all, and second of all, we have so to say, we have the police officers, you know, we have the public sectors. So I'm really glad to see that we have trained within the public sector to provide these types of services.
That are needed.
Yes,
I think
yes.
across the world, you know, it was a shock to persons here, but across the region and across the world, our politicians need security. It's, you know, it's a given. I know the BVI is blessed to be one of the more peaceful nations, the more peaceful territories, but it never came as a shock to me.
Right. We are so proud to report that BVIslander Leslee Smith was recently signed to the Plymouth Raiders of the British Basketball League. In September 2019, Smith signed to Tropical Sports Agency. The agency represents Smith's professional interests. In a recent post by the agency, they expressed that they were proud to announce Smith's latest accomplishment, being signed to the Raiders. They post the congratulatory post via their social media platform on the 30th of December 2019. Smith is a 6'7" power forward that made his debut in the British Basketball League in 2016, where he played for the Bristol Academy Flyers from 2016 to 2018. He soon after moved on to the Shark Sheffield for the 2018-2019 basketball season. On Friday, the 3rd of January, which is tomorrow, Smith will join his new team on the court as they go up against, hear this, his former team, the Sheffield Sharks, at the Plymouth Pavilion. Okay, Smith is excited to have joined the Raiders, which he expressed in an article published by his new team. Dearly, from the bottom of my heart, I really want to wish Mr. Smith all the best this season and really and truly continue to make himself, his family, and the entire BVI proud.
Yes, listen to that national pride. I could hear it. Are you
It's
a basketball
awesome.
fan?
I'm really not, but anyone that knows, me and Mr. Smith grew up in the same community, so it's really great to see BVIlanders going away and spreading their wings and doing great stuff.
Well, they've continued to do that over the years, but most recently, I don't know what's in the food, I don't know what we're drinking, but whatever it is.
We have to keep it up.
I need some of it too. All right, viewers, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We have lots more coming on Tweet 4 News.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
We will live well.
Welcome back, viewers. You are watching 284 News. Now, moving right along, the British Virgin Islands Ports Authority is making significant changes to its current cargo and cruise berth booking systems. Portcall.com is a port community scheduling system that coordinates scheduling between the port, pilots, and the agents. The online booking system is set to be operational for the first quarter of 2020 in the British Virgin Islands. Now, Mr. Brian Bender, the CEO of Portcall.com, recently conducted introductory training with the BVI Port Authority staff, cargo, and cruise agents to ensure the successful implementation of the program. Mr. Bender remarked that, quote, with the launch of Portcall, the BVI Ports Authority improves scheduling transparency for the entire port community. Portcall vessel scheduling flows between the port, pilots, and agents like a hotel reservation for ships. Agents must requests port calls, the port then books berths and pilots confirm traffic schedules. One change and everyone is notified all at once. Now, local tourism and transportation vendors gain access to live arrival or departure schedules automatically published on the web at BVIportcall.com, eliminating out-of-date cruise schedules port-wide. As the most advanced cruise scheduling destination in the Caribbean, BVI becomes even more attractive to the cruise itinerary planners. End of quote. Now, Ms. Olivine Maynard, AG Managing Director of the BVI Port Authority, indicated that, quote, the new system will allow the port's customers direct access to real-time booking schedule, which we believe will help to augment our business transactions. Both cargo and cruise ship companies, the BVI Port Authority, are committed to enhancing its service and aims to become the Caribbean's port of choice, and I feel like we're already there to some degree. When you think about the reform we've been trying to do with the marine sector, and of course being accommodating in whatever ways we can, and especially recently the Premier announcing that he wants to strengthen regional import and export relationships. I think this is definitely a great look and a great step in the right direction.
Agreed. Now for some sad news in the basketball arena. David Stern, the former NBA commissioner, died yesterday, Wednesday, the 1st of January 2020. He died at the age of 77. On December 12th, the NBA said Stern had suffered a sudden brain hemorrhage that required emergency surgery. His son, Eric, told CNN days later that his father had not been conscious since the incident and was on breathing tubes. Stern died as a result of the brain hemorrhage he suffered approximately 3 weeks ago. David Stern was the longest-serving NBA commissioner, serving 30 years from 1984 to 2014. Current NBA commissioner Adam Silver remembered Stern as a mentor, a dear friend, and one of the most influential business leaders of his generation. David took over the NBA in 1984 with the league at a crossroad, but over the course of 30 years as commissioner, he ushered in a modern global NBA. He said because of David, the NBA is truly a global brand, making him not only one of the greatest sports commissioners of all times, but also one of the most influential business leaders of his generation. Silver said in a statement, many basketball stars paid their respects and gave testimonies of the work that the icon contributed to the industry and even in their lives. Golden State Warriors superstar Steph Curry tweeted yesterday on Twitter, "We'll never forget the words you spoke this day. With the 7th pick, changed my life forever," Curry said as he recollected his official NBA draft day. NBA legend Michael Jordan said Stern was the key to his success and the league would not be what it is today without him. He guided the league through turbulent times and grew the league into an international phenomenon, creating opportunities that were few could imagine before. Jordan said in a statement, "His vision and leadership provided me with the global stage that allowed me to succeed. Today, we pray for David Stern's family, friends, and the entire NBA during this time of mourning."
That's quite a monumental, huge loss for the NBA family. I know persons all across the world probably astonished and surprised by his death, even though this is being announced now, or I guess he died recently. The issue of his health deteriorating that happened quite a number of weeks ago. I'm really surprised that it's only now coming to the forefront. I'm not a huge basketball fan. I really wouldn't know anything much about the sport, but just based on the details of the story, I realized that his tenure has stretched over quite a number of years.
That's a long time.
And under his tenure, a lot of basketball stars came forward too. So as we see them paying their respects there, I'm sure they definitely consider that to be a huge loss.
Definitely. Still ahead, Bobbi Kristina's boyfriend has died from drug overdose, and U.S. political candidate drops out of 2020 presidential race. Hear all about it when 284 News returns.
Why are you really running for, boss? You could have bust a hole in your head. But see, with the competition, which means you're about to bust a hole in your pocket.
I could get my modem, please.
Anyhow, I got something huge to show you.
I gotta be sick in your head.
The whole on string bean, Tina kind of party. Check this. That's LTE1 for just about everyone. LTE2 for you and your boo. And hold on. Bam! Rate so low, you feel like you're free. That's LTE3 for you and the whole family.
Save even more on your internet with new pricing from CCT. Get LTE 2 now for only $149. Get LTE 3 for the new low price of $189. All packages are unlimited, so there's no overage charge. You don't have to run into Chaz for savings. Just stop by our store and sign up today. Come on over to CCT. Life Unlimited.
Hello?
Wait, you had a lunch again? You don't say you were sick? What happened to our wedding rehearsal?
No, babe. I'm actually watching the news right now. Take a listen.
Topping our newscast today, UFOs seen around Tortola Pier Park.
And District 3 residents outraged over no water supply. They simply cannot bathe. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
All right, babe, just get some rest, take 2 Advil, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, honey. I see you later. I love you.
It's clear to see that Coconut Lounge is a place to be, the coolest cocktail lounge in the British Virgin Islands. A lounge like no other, with welcoming, professional service, and a breathtaking ambiance. Not forgetting a diverse selection of wines, beers, and signature cocktails. Cozy, comfortable, contemporary. Coconut Lounge at Tortola Pier Park. Visit us today.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, another devastating story that is breaking, against the internet and across the world, trending. Nick Gordon, the ex-partner of the late Bobbi Kristina Brown, was yesterday found dead at just 30 years old. Sources say that Gordon had suffered a number of heart attacks on New Year's Day and was rushed to the intensive care unit at Altamonte Springs Hospital, where he eventually died. Gordon's brother Jack Walker has since confirmed that he died in Florida following a drug overdose. Now, the announcement was first made by Gordon's attorney, which is Mr. Joe Hobaki, who confirmed his client's death in a statement, but the Atlanta attorney did not give a cause of death. His former attorney, Randall Kessler, said, quote, "My heart sunk when I heard the news. This is a tragic ending to Nick's troubled life." Now, Gordon's death comes about 5 years after Brown, the daughter of singers Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. Now, Kyla, we all remember this tragedy. It was horrific, considering the nature of her mother, Whitney Houston's death. But we all remember that. It happened in 2015 when she was found unresponsive and then died 6 months later. And her family has since alleged that Gordon was the one to serve her final toxic cocktail before she was found in an unconscious state. Now, investigators with the medical examiner's office were not able to determine exactly how she died, but an autopsy showed that she had morphine, cocaine, alcohol, as well as prescription drugs in her body. But the medical examiner again could not determine if she had killed herself, if someone else killed her, or if the death was accidental. Her then boyfriend Gordon was never criminally charged for the murder of Bobbi Kristina, but he was found liable in a civil case. He was found legally responsible for Brown's death and was ordered to pay $36 million to the estate of his late girlfriend. Gordon failed to appear in court for 2 of the hearings in the case, Kyla, and as a result, her family won by default. Now, Nick Gordon was taken in, I should say, by Whitney Houston when he was just 12 years old and raised alongside Bobbi Kristina. And I know this is shocking too, because this is the first time I'm hearing about this, Kyla. The two then became romantically involved after Whitney's death in 2012, and that caused tension between the families. His lawyer, Joe Backey, said, quote, Despite all of the incredible challenges Nick faced over the last few years, I can honestly say that he worked really hard to hold his head up and stay sober, and that he genuinely wanted a happy, healthy life with his family more than anything else. My heart goes out to the family and friends Nick leaves behind, and to all the other families dealing with the losses and heartache caused by drugs. Now, up to press time, Bobbi Kristina's estate has declined to comment on Gordon's death, but again, it certainly comes as a shock not only to the family, the friends, but I think persons across the world as we reflect on these three tragedies that came from, I would say, the same home, and certainly legends in their own right, such a prestige family, and tragic loss, I think, for the world.
So sad, so sad. According to NBC News Online, Julian Castro dropped out of the presidential race after he failed to gain traction. Castro was the only Latino candidate running in the Democratic primary, but the former top Obama administrator official never saw his poll numbers take off in the crowded field. His campaign was focused on issues of immigration and education. Castro spent 5 years as mayor of San Antonio, Texas from 2009.
You
Yes.
got it.
What is going on with these years these days? Okay. So 2009 to 2014, before he joined the President Obama's cabinet as the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, which he served from 2014 to 2017. Castro launched his campaign nearly a year ago in January 2019 from his hometown of San Antonio. As he announced departure, the politician said, "I've determined that it simply isn't our time. Today, with a heavy heart and profound gratitude, that I will suspend my campaign for president. I'm not done fighting," Castro continued. "I'll keep working towards a nation where everyone counts, a nation where everyone can get a good job, good health care, and a decent place to live." How do you feel about this one?
I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like a lot of persons dabble in politics without recognizing the what should be the true inspiration behind getting into politics. He pulled out because he didn't gain traction. I feel like rarely do you find someone who gets into the political race for the very, very first time and come out as the president or come out as a winner. Really and truly, you have to be a part of the rat race for a very long time. You have to get in, cement your intentions for the country, and show the country. And also, you're gaining experience. You're learning the business. You're learning how to operate as a politician. So I really don't agree with him pulling out because of traction.
I think I'll agree to disagree on this one, simply because I think sometimes you just have to know when you have lost. I think we see a politician here who have served, you know, in different capacities, as mayor, as on various cabinets. So I don't think it's the experience. You know, he's still in the political arena, but he saw a race. He see that he wasn't a perfect contender at the time, and he called it.
Well, it was ultimately his call. I'm sure a lot of persons were rallying behind him. But viewers, we have to wrap it up.
Yeah,
we have to wrap it up. I'm really pleased and happy for this to be our first newscast of the year. We were looking forward to, a year of everything with you guys. We really do appreciate the support. If you haven't liked us as yet, be sure to like us on Facebook at 284 Media, as well as 284 BVI on Instagram, as well as Twitter. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Kyla Kidisha Forbes. We'll see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news. Have
a happy Thursday.
Yeah, happy Thursday and Happy New Year, everybody.
It's been said, sticks and stones may break bones, but words don't hurt me. That could not be further from the truth. Everything you say and do creates an impact. Whether you're 13 or 30, 6 or 60, your actions and words carry weight. They either lift someone up or tear them down. 1 in 5 students ages 12 to 18 has been bullied during the school year. Approximately 160 teens have skipped school because of bullying. The most commonly reported types of bullying are verbal harassment, social harassment, physical bullying, and cyberbullying. Remember, everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about, and bullying is never okay, whether it's in a classroom or corporation. 284 Media joins the Ministry of Education of the Government of the Virgin Islands in the fight against bullying. When you see it or hear it, speak up against it. Let's end bullying.